Welcome everyone to
Thank
this.
you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you could make it, Michael. About time you
Yeah,
showed up.
That's
yeah.
fair.
For those at home, Michael always is late. The
I am
lazy
always late
bones.
by like a solid 15 to 20 minutes.
Michael's the lazy bones.
That's me.
Michael doesn't put shopping carts back.
That's a step too far.
Hocus Pocus, 1993. A curious youngster moves to Salem where he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches, the
He
Sanderson
did not
sisters.
mention that he is a virgin.
And he's a virgin.
That's something that the movie makes abundantly clear so many times. It's the funniest joke in the movie. Hocus Pocus. Michael, what do you think?
I enjoyed it. This is one of those I feel like so many people have grown up with, and it's like the classic go-to Halloween movie for them to watch every year. And I can see why it was that for them. I think it has some fun, spooky elements. There are some funny things. Obviously, the Sanderson sisters themselves are great, solid performances, and the story is fun and kooky. But it definitely has its fair share of Disney original movie 90s kitsch. It has some cheaper weird stuff. Some of the performances are really off. Tombstones look like they came from Party City. the one tombstone with a giant skull and crossbones over it, kind of inconsiderate to the dead, but yeah. So I enjoyed it. I probably did not enjoy it as much as most people do, but I thought it was a fun time.
I like this film. I'd probably agree with Michael. I don't know that I was ever able to put words on it, but it really didn't leave me with much afterwards. It was just it's a fine movie, interesting, interesting story, and cool aesthetic. It takes you along for a ride and all that, and you enjoy it watching it. It didn't leave me with very much, but yeah, it was solid. I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7.
Definitely the best part about it are the Sanderson sisters. The three of them together, they have really good chemistry.
Black is black, just like this.
It's a mishmash of wanting to be more adult oriented and have some adult jokes that come off as more childish than anything.
We desire children.
Hey, that may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that'd be a problem.
But overall, I think it's enjoyable enough. I'm glad that these three characters exist, and I am glad that they're in their park shows for Disney, because in the Not So Spooky Halloween they make really good hosts.
This is something I feel like happens a lot, and it's very interesting. If all the three of us are pretty Halloween movie, horror movie uninitiated. This is kind of a gamut of both, all of us are running. I think me and Jordan a little bit more so than Nathaniel have a little bit more experience, but It's always funny when you watch these movies because people love these movies so much for these characters that you kind of assume that they're the protagonists. And it's very funny when you come back around and you see wait, these are 100% point blank the antagonists of this movie. But they're in so many ways. They're way more compelling than the main character. I forgot his name already. One of the most annoying protagonists I've ever seen.
He's so blah.
He's so blah. It's like if someone made angst out of mayonnaise. It's like if you wrote angst on a manila envelope. Because he has all this pent up anger and trying to be edgy and cool, but he has no personality whatsoever. He has no definable characteristics or traits. He's from Los Angeles and he is a virgin.
He is a virgin. She is a virgin. I can smell a virgin at 1,000 paces.
And that's about it. And it's so weird having this character that is so uninteresting being surrounded by antagonists that are so much more compelling.
I mean, even the bullies are funnier than him. He has nothing to do in this movie, and
The bullies are the best part of this movie, 100%.
They have choreography for how they bully him.
Yeah.
All the villagers in the beginning of the movie felt like the Quaker Oats extended cinematic universe, vaguely Amish, and two-dimensional and bland. Like, I think that's sort of a reoccurring trend in this movie, is that the Sanderson sisters are so vibrant and they have such competent and talented actresses behind them, putting in so much effort and personality, surrounded by some of the most two-dimensional, flat characters you could possibly imagine.
I also found, like, the story just, like, dragged on too much. Like, it's like they're just kind of messing around the neighborhood, doing their stuff. And after the opening, which takes way too long, it seems like at the end of the second act, they just defeat them. And then they just come back because they can't end the movie that soon. and like, honestly, like, by the end of it, I was kind of like a little ready for it to be over.
Yeah, there's several points like that where, like, the plot itself kind of turns juvenile. Like, when they do the fake out with the sunlight, midnight, daylight savings time. And they just, like, I guess it's a placebo? And they just chill on the floor for, like, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, wait, we're not dead. Why did you scream in pain and, like, agony? And the same thing goes with the zombie. Like, it just, they wanted it to look like that, or it needed for that to move the plot forward without it making any actual sense. And it really does feel juvenile in those moments in a not great way.
Another character that I literally don't, like, they want you to care so much about is the cat. Zachary? Yeah, Zachary.
I kind of like the cat.
Okay, first off, the story I actually, like, from the beginning, it's like, okay, I understand the curse. It's fine. He's going to come back into play later on. He has, like, this semi-British accent-ish. Like, it sounds like he's trying to do an accent but can't fully. And that kind of throws me off. And then the CGI is very dated because it's a 93 almost Disney Channel original movie money. And at one point he gets hit by a car and they play this really sad music. Everyone starts, like, kind of like, oh no, we could have done something. And then he starts inflating again, and it's really
just blows up like a balloon.
I love the plot twist with the cop, who was in fact not a cop and a fully grown adult man who wanted to play along to be a cop, only long enough to hear about an underage boy's sex history.
Are you a virgin?
And then promptly told the children to scram and got back on his bike with his girlfriend.
My gosh.
That joke actually landed for me. It's a good, like, it's set up, and then, like, afterwards there's a reveal, and I was like, okay, that's a pretty funny joke in your line of adult jokes.
It surprised me, actually. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah.
I thought I was a real cop.
I think I would selectively recommend it. I think there's a certain barrier of entry and certain understood agreements that you have to make going into it, into the sort of film that you expect it to be. And if you're not used to, like, 90s Disney kitsch and, those sort of plot conveniences and weird moments, it's definitely not going to be your jam. But as Nathaniel said, I have no issue with people liking it. And if you know that what that is, and you've had movies similar to that, like Halloween Town, stuff like that you enjoyed, I think it's a good time. So I recommend it if you know what it is going in and you have those readjusted expectations. Because we've been pretty critical of this, but I think we all enjoyed ourselves and had a fun time.
Yeah, overall, I would recommend this to the group of people who are binging through old 90s Disney Halloween classics, because they have a bunch. They have a huge catalog of Disney Channel original movies that are in this kind of, like, mishmash. And if you're in the mood for those, yeah, go for it. It's a fun movie. It definitely is entertaining enough time that you're able to sit through the hour and a half, like, pretty easily. It does run a little long because it just has some pacing issues and character inconsistencies, but the Sanderson sisters are the best part about it. They're funny. They obviously have some really great chemistry together, and they're having a blast playing these characters. And honestly, it might be enough for you to just, like, to see the movie based off of that. Definitely something that you could sit down and enjoy with your family.
I would probably say I enjoyed it as a whole, and I would recommend it. I understand why people love it, especially adding the nostalgia on that. it didn't do a lot for me personally, and really, this is the first on the list I've struggled to even have many like thoughts of. Like it's just fine. But yeah, it's a spooky time, and especially if you love it, there's nothing wrong with loving it.
Sorry, Emily. I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle.
Hocus Pocus.
It's Night of the Living
What's
Dead
coming
next,
up
right?
next?
It's not. Yeah.
What's coming up next? Oh, hey.
Okay, so up next,
What's
what?
coming up next?
Go ahead, ask
Hey.
me again.
Jordan, what are you doing here? What's coming up next?
Oh, well, up next, we have Night of the Living Dead, a 1968 classic zombie film with there's a pretty good ending. It's a really good. Yes, we're doing that next. God, I was.
For you
Okay,
watching
bye.
at home, this was his 5th try?
Keep it. That was gold. That's the one. That's a
That's
wrap.
it. Like, subscribe, get out of here. I don't want to see you again, please.